Hey everybody, Yankee here. I don't know how many of you have already heard, but Chiappa is apparently releasing two new Rhinos, the 6-inch and the 3-inch, chambered in 10mm. Now this brings up the old question of what do I think of revolvers chambered in semi-automatic calibers, and usually I'm against it. Not a big fan. Now, sometimes when it's done, you actually get more rounds. Like when you're saying, oh, should I get this gun in a 5-round 357 Magnum or a 6-round 32 H&R or 327 Magnum? And then there's a little bit of a debate. But when you're going from 357 Magnum to 10mm, you're not gaining anything, you're just losing potential power. 357 Magnum has greater potential, has more powerful loadings offered. 10mm is just weaker, but pretty much same size round, so you don't get any more rounds. So all you're doing is losing. You're losing potential power. So I'm usually not a fan of it. Same thing with 9mm in a revolver. Usually you get the same number of 9mm as you do 357 Magnum. So I'm like, why would you do that? Just get lower powered 357 Magnum when you want to shoot lighter rounds, but you still have that potential for 357 Magnum. So I'm almost always against it, especially in cases where you're not getting any extra rounds, you're just losing power. But I am actually a little bit excited about this 3-inch Chiappa Rhino in 10mm. And I'll tell you why. Because when you think about continuity through your carry stuff, things you use for every day, you kind of start thinking, well, I want the same caliber. And I carry a 357 Magnum revolver. Well, I also carry a 10mm Glock in my car to have something that has higher capacity and faster reloads. In case I'm ever stuck somewhere, natural disaster, civil unrest, I have another option, plus I have a second firearm that I could arm a friend. If I'm with someone else or run into someone on the way home and I can't get back in my car, I got to travel on foot. Because of that risk right there, I also have a carbine in my car. And I want that to be the same caliber as my Glock. So I also want to be able to take Glock mags. And so far I haven't been able to find a folding carbine that takes Glock mags. It looks like I'm probably going to have to get the regular Ruger carbine that takes Glock mags, because I want to just keep the magazines for the Glock and the carbine the same. 10mm, same caliber, same magazines. But it would also be nice if my everyday carry gun was 10mm. And since I like revolvers, it would be worth it, I think, to give up a little bit of potential power by going from 357 to 10mm so that you have a 10mm everyday carry revolver too. Because now, if I'm out somewhere and, civil unrest, natural disaster, whatever, I find myself having to hoof it back home, I've got my everyday carry gun for me. I've got a secondary gun in case things are bad or I need to arm someone else who's with me. I also have a carbine that are all the same caliber. And the Glock and the carbine would take the same magazines. And since I actually have extra rounds in my get home bag, I would just have to keep one caliber in there because I could reload my revolver and all my magazines from just one caliber box of ammo. Also, if we're out running around and let's say we're running out of ammo, we're having to fight our way through something, let's say that's happening. It's probably never going to happen, but let's just pretend it did for one reason or another. Also, not only if I didn't have any more ammo, like say my get home bag got separated from me or something, well, we still got those magazines for the Glock and the carbine. And I can reload my revolver from those if it's also 10mm. So it just gives you a little bit of versatility. It means you got to stock less stuff in your car. It means everything in your car is more versatile. Now the ammo fits all 3 guns. The magazines fit the 2 guns that take magazines. And you can reload that revolver when you need to with either your backup ammo for the other 2 or straight from the magazine of the other 2. Because, like, if I'm walking down the road and, I have to do something with my gun, it's me and a friend, he's got the Glock, I've got the carbine and my revolver, and say something, I got to do something in close quarters, got to fire off some from the revolver. Now I've only got 3 rounds left in there. Well, before we continue down the road, I can take out those spent rounds, take a few from the magazine of the carbine and put in there, because my revolver is going to be my first thing I go to, because, quick access, etc. And, I've got extra rounds in the carbine. Probably have an extra magazine on it even. So I can afford a few rounds from that magazine to keep my carry gun loaded up. So there is a big advantage there when it comes to having a revolver in 10 millimeter, when it comes to continuity across your carry platform or your carry, arsenal would be the word. So I actually do think that 10 millimeter revolvers actually probably might have a place. Not in their own right, just as, I'm just carrying a revolver and I want it in 10 millimeter, well, then that's not really a good decision in my opinion. Get 357 Magnum. But if you're going to have that, arsenal of guns, your carry gun, your backup gun, your carbine, well, then it makes more sense because you can have all those things in 10 millimeter. Like I said, right now I haven't managed to do that. I do want to get my carbine in 10 millimeter. The only folding one I found is the 10 millimeter Smith. So that would mean I'd have to change my Glock out to a Smith & Wesson in 10 millimeter. And I don't want to have to do that, but that might be what I have to do. And then I'd have to get a 10 millimeter revolver. So it is nice to see that Glock's putting out a 10 mil, or not Glock, but Chiappa's putting out a 10 millimeter revolver. 6 shots, 10 millimeter, and it handles 357 amazingly well. It's so comfortable to shoot. It's going to be really comfortable with 10 millimeter. So got some pluses to it. So I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that now that they are doing the 5-inch and the 3-inch, the 3-inch I think is in silver, the 5-inch is in black. So that 3-inch one is a good carry gun. It's a great carry gun, especially if you're recoil sensitive. So that would fit into one of that, chain of your arsenal there, fitting into the right place, having the same caliber, etc. So I am a little bit excited about it, and I may end up getting one simply because I think that, consolidating for that is a good idea. I don't always say consolidate calibers, period. I think you should always have options when it comes to calibers, because if you ever find yourself in a bad situation, in a bad time, you want to be able to use what ammo you can find or what ammo you can trade for. So you want to have more options. But when it comes to your carry gun, your backup carbine in your vehicle, it's nice to have them all on the same caliber. And this gives you another option for your carry gun to stay in that caliber. So I'm actually a little bit excited about the 3-inch 10 millimeter Rhino, and that is why.